It's very easy for the left to use this horror of neo-Nazis and the Ku Klux Klan and right-wing extremism as a way in which to deflect from the own inequities that are present within their own camp. This alliance between Islamists and the left has been going on way before 9/11, even back to the 60s and 70s with the advent of the Arab autocrats and then the rise of the Brotherhood's power in Egypt in the 70s and 80s and their allies that were present, whether it be in the former Soviet Union funded terror groups that they worked with and had in training camps, or all the way till today, when we see parliaments trying to create a camouflage for organizations that act under the auspices of charitable work, but actually fund, support, and in no other way of saying it, and I think that the most clear way, encourage Islamist terror attacks against Western targets.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I'm glad you reminded our viewers and me of the left's romance with terrorists, with Muslim terrorists going back decades. I mean, Yasser Arafat and all these other PLO terrorists and hijackings, they were glamorized by the left in the 70s and 80s. They were made into romantic figures as opposed to the murderers that they were. This goes back far before 9/11. What is it with the left and murderers, whether it's Che Guevara, Fidel Castro, or Mao Zedong? Why does the left glamorize anti-Western violent extremists? What is it? Can you try and explain the motivation or the psychology there?
Sure. So if you look at the idea of counterculture, I don't want to blanketly condemn everyone on the left for supporting political violence in order to achieve their means or to be able to get across a point. But I think when we look at the far left, those who we now inherit this progressive mantle from, starting with the Baader-Meinhof gang, when we were looking at the Japanese Red Crescent, when we were looking at the other armed factions that were present, not just in the West, but also in the left, those responsible for the Tokyo sarin gas attack bombings and whatever else, this fringe anarchist element that's associated there, they found good company in numbers when they affiliated with Islamist and Arab autocratic terror organizations, like we said, starting in the early 60s. Now, they're aggressive incarnates, those who are trying to shill for those who support Hamas, the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, the DFLP, and other terrorist organizations are only doing what their parents and their grandparents did, which is finding a way to sugarcoat the violent acts of a few by then shilling for the many. And I think that you have to understand the psychological perception is that they can't find a willing and receptive audience from mainstream Americans like myself, Canadians like you, others in the rest of the West, so they end up trying to create excuses to, in the shortest possible form of being able to analyze it, of saying that violence is not okay, but they spend more time going after the boogeyman on the right when the actual problem is on the left.
That's an excerpt from my daily TV show, The Ezra Levant Show. Normally it's behind a paywall, but I thought you'd like this video, so we put it on YouTube. If you want to subscribe to watch the daily show every day, including always 2 interviews a day, and I read my hate mail, just click on this screen and become a premium member.